It's been a perfect 3-game week for Boro thus far. 2 games down, 2 victories. But can they make it 3 from 3 with the visit of Wrexham? What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel and another episode of the Project Boro preview show. Today we're looking ahead to Boro's next game, of course, this weekend at home in the Championship. Back at the Riverside, back at Fortress Riverside, of course. We've got the strongest home record in the league so far, and hopefully it can continue this weekend with the visit of course, Wrexham, one of the 3 newly promoted sides this season. Like Birmingham, come up with some hype, come up with some expectancy. I don't think it was quite at the crazy levels of expectancy that Wrexham were coming up with Birmingham, were coming up with, talk of playoffs at least, an automatic promotion. I think there were a few, maybe overly carried away Wrexham fans who thought they could just keep going bang, 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 bang through the Championship. Of course, it's not looking like that will be the case. It certainly hasn't worked out that way so far, and I think the expectation around Wrexham is that, they are not just any newly promoted side. They are a newly promoted side who should really be hoping and expecting to be in mid-table, maybe top 10. I think that would still be an incredible season for them. And so far, they've done all right, I think it's safe to say. Nothing flash. They're 15th at the moment. 3 wins, 4 draws, 4 defeats. 15 goals scored, 16 goals conceded. They're as many points off the bottom 3 as they are the top 6. It's as much of a sort of average, mediocre start to the season as they could have had, really. And it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. It's a sign that I think they've settled relatively well. They've not been shocked and have not been caught out and are not in any trouble. They've not also started like a house on fire and look like they might exceed expectations. I think they've just had a steady start. I think for a newly promoted side, they would absolutely take that. However, they do come to the Riverside off the back of a win. They got a win on Wednesday night at home to Oxford United. Their first home league win of the season, I believe, as well, which surprised me a little bit. But that was their first win in 5 league games. Prior to that, they'd lost at Stoke and had 3 consecutive 1-1 draws before that. So they've not been winning games as such, but they have come off the back of a win in the last couple of days. And just overall, in terms of their home form, they are slightly better travellers than what they are at home, which I was surprised by. I thought Wrexham would have been stronger at home compared to being away from home. There's not too much of a difference. They come to Riverside, decent travellers. Again, they're smack bang in the middle of the away league table. Of the 5 away games they've had, they've won 2, drew 1, lost 2. Again, pretty average, pretty much in the middle. Their 2 away wins came at Norwich and Millwall, who, of course, we've been to and won as well. And, a win at Millwall is nothing to be sniffed at, albeit it was a little bit earlier in the season. A win at Norwich, though, well, that's sort of the expectations at the moment, isn't it, with them losing every single home game at Carrow Road. So, I would say Wrexham are a difficult side to judge one way or another, really. They're just doing all right. And maybe that leaves them as a bit of an unknown quantity for Boro. Maybe we don't quite know what to expect this weekend. Maybe they'll be better than we thought. Maybe they'll be worse. There's not much else to say about Wrexham's start other than I think it's been steady, but in the context of a newly promoted side, I still think it's been good. And they've been all right on the road as well. They're also doing pretty well in terms of scoring goals in the Championship so far this season. On only one occasion this season have they actually drew a blank in the league. They've scored in every single other league game so far this season. So they are quite capable at finding the back of the net in the Championship so far. They have an identical goal scoring record to Boro. We've scored 15 goals. They've scored 15 goals, which puts us both sort of in the top 6, 7, 8 in terms of sides who've scored goals in the league. So that's a pretty promising stat for Wrexham as well. And they are currently 10th in the XG table, which I still think is another pretty decent stat. They've created the 10th most high quality chances in the Championship. They've slightly overperformed it, but not by much, so they are decent at creating them good opportunities, and there's some other real standout attacking stats as well. They're right up there for big chances. They've had the 4th most big chances in the Championship. They're up there for big chances missed. They've missed the 3rd most big chances in the league. So they do get themselves into some pretty good positions. They do create good chances, but they also are quite wasteful at the same time. So yeah, an attack that will definitely give Boro problems. They're not, I would say, flashy, but they're effective, but they can also be wasteful at the same time. Looking at the other end of the pitch, this is where Boro can, I think, draw quite a few positives, and that is that as great as Wrexham are at one end, they do give in quite a few goals at the other. You know, they have had quite a few high-scoring games. They do give up goals, and they do give up big chances. In terms of their defence, they're down in the sort of bottom 8 when it comes to the goals that they've conceded this season. They've conceded 16 goals, which has them 17th in the away league table, 1.5 goals per game, and that is matched by their expected goals, which isn't as pretty reading. Their expected goals against, should I say. They've given up the 4th highest expected goals against in the Championship. In fact, they should have probably conceded 1 or 2 more. Their XG against is up at 18.8, and that's only worse than Norwich, Sheffield Wednesday and Hull City. So as much as I think they will give Boro a little bit of an issue going forward, they will give Boro's defence a test. They can also be got at and can give up chances themselves. It's a question of, can Boro carve them chances out and create them? Because, well, I guess we thought the same when we went to Sheffield Wednesday in midweek, and that wasn't exactly straightforward, was it? We did come up against a fairly good goalkeeper, though, if we are honest. So, yeah, Wrexham are an interesting side. It could go one of many ways. It might depend on how we turn up on the day, how they turn up, but they are a solid, steady side who do have goals in them, but they give up goals too. And Boro are kind of the opposite. We are a very defensive side whose games are very tight, so it makes me wonder that this game could blow up and become a 3-2, 3-3, or it could just be a narrow, cagey, bitty 1-0. We'll have to wait and see. I'll get to my prediction, as always, at the end. Looking at their team, this is the team they played on Wednesday when they beat Oxford at home. They play with a sort of 3-5-2, a 3-5-1-1. It's a little bit similar to what Boro have played at times this season with the 3 at the back and the wing backs, of course. They have got some pretty good individuals in the team. You wouldn't be surprised to hear that Kiefer Moore is their top goal scorer up front with 4, an absolute top Championship striker. Everyone knows what Kiefer Moore is all about. He will offer probably Dale Fry a really, really tough defensive duel. It's going to be one big battle that could determine if the game's won and lost on the pitch, that one. Kiefer Moore up front is an absolute unit, and he'll certainly be trying to win aerial duels, whether it be from set pieces, corners, throw-ins, long throw-ins, of course. I think in any of them situations, Wrexham have got a real weapon there in Kiefer Moore, whether it's to flick the ball on or win a header from a corner or whatever it may be. And of course, he can flick it on to runners that he might have in behind him coming from midfield, or of course just behind him with the 10, and that might be Nathan Broadhead, who himself has bagged a few goals this season as well. So that's something Boro have got to be wary of. You know, Kiefer Moore in the air, try and stop him from winning as many headers as you can, and if he does win flick-ons, the other centre-halves and maybe the defensive mids have got to be ready to track the runners who'll be looking to feed off of the headers that he does indeed win. There's a couple of other players, one we do recognise in the team who's done pretty well for them so far. Lewis O'Brien is another. Didn't start midweek, interestingly enough, but he's got 3 goals this season, and by all accounts looks like he's had a very good start to his career at Wrexham. He seems like he's the midfielder we were hoping and thought we were getting when he come to Boro. Of course, suffered a very, very nasty injury at the start of his Boro career. He's up there alongside Kiefer Moore with the most goal contributions in the league. They both have 5 for Wrexham. They're top 2 highest goal contributors in the Wrexham side. Both have 5 goal contributions. Lewis O'Brien has 3 goals, 2 assists. Kiefer Moore has 4 goals and 1 assist. So I do wonder if the fact O'Brien was rested in midweek means that he's geared up for a start here. Another former Boro player coming to town. He's definitely going to be one to watch. He seems like he's in good form this season. Another player who is definitely one to look out for is their right wing back, Kabore. Issa Kabore. He is a right wing back on loan from Manchester City, I think. It seems like an absolute nightmare. Seems like he's an incredibly quick, pacey full-back. He's got 3 assists this season already as well, which is pretty impressive. He's going to be one that we're going to have to watch down our left-hand side. Matt Targett hopefully can do a job on him. And then there's other players in the team, weren't even in the squad didn't even play on Wednesday, didn't start at least. Josh Windass is one. He's had 3 goals this season. He didn't start midweek. So there's some big players in that team who are very, very good at this level, and players that Boro have got to be very, very aware of. And I think because a lot of them didn't play, they might have a very, very changed up 11 come the weekend. It wouldn't surprise me if O'Brien is in, Windass is in, Moore and maybe Broadhead as well. So lots of threats for Boro to be aware of. The one that we don't have to worry about, not so much a threat, but one of their centre-halves is Callum Doyle. He might be on loan as well. I might be getting mixed up with another Doyle here. Possibly. Could be wrong. They might have bought him outright. I think maybe they did. But he's one of their centre-backs. He was sent off at in midweek against Oxford and will miss the game. So it'll be interesting to see who they get in at centre-back. As for the Boro 11, this could be anything, if I'm honest. I felt quite confident that we'd go to Sheffield Wednesday unchanged from the Ipswich game, but I honestly think we might see, again, a raft of changes from Rob Edwards. At the end of the day, it's a squad game, and I think when you've got a 3-game week especially, you've got to utilise the squad, and I'm sensing even another change of system from Boro at the weekend. I have a sneaky feeling we might go back to a back 3. And I'm looking at Wrexham and I'm seeing they line up with a back 3. They have wing-backs, very effective wing-backs. And I have a feeling Boro might match them up. So the threat they'll have from their wing-backs hopefully can be dealt with Targett and Britton. And then maybe we can also sort of turn the best form of defence is attack, and maybe we can keep their wing-backs pinned by pushing Targett and Britton on, who can just occupy them. And then, of course, as I mentioned earlier, you've got Kiefer Moore up front. He's going to be flicking the ball on to runners, you'd imagine, and that's why I would rather have 2 bodies either side of Dale Fry than just one. So if he flicks it on to Fry's left, Alfie Jones can be there on the cover, vice versa. Luke Ayling can be there on the cover, because I think you've just got to stick Dale Fry on Kiefer Moore. You've got to, and just try and stop him having an influence up front. So I would go with a back 3, and I'd match them up with wing backs. The back 6 then picks itself, as it has done many times this season. There is a question mark around Brown or Morris. Brown, again, played out of his skin and was one of our best players on Wednesday. Probably more a question of fitness and stamina at this point, and fatigue. I'd keep him in. Why not? I don't see why not. I think he keeps proving that he's doing very well in midfield, so why not keep a player who's in form? That then would, of course, mean there's a slight tweak up front, because we're reverting back to the 2-10s. And that's where I'm unsure about whether we'll go to a 3, because the wingers have been effective. The last 3 goals Boro have scored, Bergzorg and Whittaker have been directly involved in both from the wings. So I think to combat Wrexham, this is the way to go. But will it give Boro what we need going the other way? I'm not so sure. This is where I'm a bit sceptical, and why I think we might stick with a 4. But if we do go with a 3, I think the 10s will be Whittaker and one of Strelets or Nipan. I don't think Strelets had a good game Wednesday. I still think his quality warrants a place in the team, but I think Nipan has more than enough of a chance to start. I think Whittaker will be in there in some form just because he's scored 2 and 2, and he's on a bit of a roll at the moment. So even if we do play with a 4-2-3-1, I think it'll be Whittaker on one side and then X other player on the other, whether it's Bergzorg or otherwise. But I think Strelets will be in there. Maybe it'll be him or Nipan, and then you could also throw the same question to Tommy Conway. Will it be Conway or Sen? If we reckon Wrexham might play a high line, their defence doesn't have much pace, Cali Sen might be the option. If you want Conway to be in there to link the play, he might start as well. I think there's another possible selection headache there for Rob Edwards as well. So honestly, the Boro team could be absolutely anything. It could be a 4-2-3-1. It could be a 3-4-2-1. We might go with wingers, we might go with 10s. We'll have to wait and see. Finishing though with my prediction, I do think, like a lot of Boro games this season, it will be tight. I don't remember, other than Millwall, where we've went away from home and blew a team away as such, or blew anyone away, to be honest with you. So I just think every Boro game will be a tight affair, and I think it'll be the same here. It's either going to be a basketball game, open game, goals galore, or they might come here, they might sit back, try to frustrate, try to, maybe say Boro break us down, because, have we seen quite enough from Boro to suggest we're good at breaking teams down who sit deep? Probably not. Wrexham might see that as a way of getting something from the Riverside, and they might say, yeah, let's sit in and let's ask Boro to break us down and see if they can do it. And then the onus is on us then, and Kiefer Moore can be the outball. He can be the player they can play the ball up to when they want to get out. That could be their play. I don't know. But I do think Boro will find a way through. I also think Wrexham will score as well, because they have done in most of their games this season. So I'm going to go with a narrow Boro win. Our home record has been fantastic this season, and there's no reason why that can't continue. So I'm going to go Boro 2, Wrexham 1, and Boro to pick up their third win in a week, and therefore 9 points from 9 in what would be a fantastic run of games before we have a week's break until Watford next weekend. But anyway, let me know your thoughts and feelings and predictions in the comment section below, guys. Whether you're a Boro fan, Wrexham fan, or neutral, let me know your thoughts, feelings and predictions in the comment section below. And as always, like the video if you've enjoyed it, subscribe for more, and of course I'll be back over the weekend to review, hopefully, another Boro win at the Riverside on Saturday afternoon. But until then, take care, and I'll see you all in the next one.